Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If all goes according to plan, then this is actually the first video here on the main channel that you're seeing with my brand new camera and mic. I have a vlog channel video which should be live. If it is, I'll throw it up in the cards. If not, it will be coming soon, so make sure you subscribe to the vlog channel. But I talk about the history of my YouTube channel and the fact that like for the last 5 years that I've had my channel, over 5 years at this point, I've had the same camera. And it's a decent camera, but it's a very beginner camera. It didn't leave me room for upgrades. So this is the new, not new to the world, but new to me. This is the Sony ZV-1, and I have a Rode microphone attached on top. So hopefully everything goes well, and this looks and sounds a lot better than you'd be used to, I guess. So for today's video, I thought it'd be fun to go and rank the last 10 makeup products I purchased. As a little aside, I am excluding eyeshadow palettes. I have purchased a couple of eyeshadow palettes here and there, but I did want to do a separate video just ranking like new eyeshadow palettes, so I'm saving those for that video. Today we're doing everything that is not eyeshadow palettes. So I have to say, I went through a bit of a rut a few months ago. I talk about it in like a previous Bochinche chat, so I'll throw that up in the cards if you missed it. But I kind of went through this rut where like no new makeup was inspiring to me. I wasn't really, wanting to buy anything, blah, blah, blah. But like recently, the last few weeks, I've just been seeing stuff that's really interested me. Like especially, I'm actually doing a whole video on this, so it's not out yet, but the new e.l.f. just came out with a dupe for the liquid silk canvas from Tarte. So that, like, I think I got the email and I purchased it in 2 seconds flat. So that's not going to be in this video. It'll be in a separate video, maybe even before this one goes up. But like I've just been more interested in makeup, more interested in trying new things and experimenting. So we've got a lot of like base products, and by a lot, I mean 9, I think, of these 10 products are base products. So that's like foundation, primer, concealer. So I have the last 10 products I purchased, and I'm gonna go ahead and rank them from 10 all the way down to 1, from my least favorite down to my favorite. I know I haven't been saying this in videos lately, but if you do appreciate this video, please go ahead and give it a like. It'll boost my video up in the ever unknown ocean that is YouTube's algorithm. And if you're not already, please subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified when new videos go live every week-ish. Alright, so product number 10 is from AOA Studio, and this is the new CC cream. They've come out with a couple of like skin tint CC BB cream type products, and I have to say, most of them are a bit of a flop on my skin like texture, my skin type. I've just noticed that they don't tend to like wear on the skin well. They don't sink into the skin. They kind of sit on top of the skin. They like accentuate my dry spots. So they're not great. I was excited for this one because it was brand new and everyone was giving it rave reviews, but I tried it. I got a couple of shades, and the shade that best matched me was Fair. And even then it's a little like orangey. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not a huge fan. So this is probably going to get decluttered. Odds are I'm just keeping it until my next declutter so I can move it on out. But not to say bad things about AOA Studio. They have amazing foundations. I just don't like their BBCC creams. Their like serum foundations are so much better. All right, moving on to product number 9 in this countdown, and that is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. And it's this far down because I just haven't worn it since I bought it. So I've purchased this a couple of times, and I've panned at least one full-size product of this, and it's a really good summer foundation. So I just bought it because I was running low on good matte foundations, and basically the summer is here. So I got the shade 0 and 1 Alabaster, which seems to be a very nice shade match for me, but I have not done a full day wear test with the new shade. Previously, I had 1 and 2, I think, and I had to lighten that, so it's my first time getting this shade, so hopefully it works out well, but it's just down here because I've not worn this one yet. All right, next, this one. It was so close to being a good product, but the packaging does it for me. So this is again from AOA Studio, and this is their new Easy Brow Gel, and this is in the shade Ebony. Now, it actually is an ebony brow gel. It is a black brow gel. I love the shade. I love the undertone. I love the tint. This is like literally exactly what I was looking for in a brow gel. Now, it does not set the brows, it just tints them, which is okay because Kosas does the same thing, and I like the Kosas brow gel. The only downside is the gigantic spoolie. Look at this. This is like bigger than my brow, and it makes a mess. If this only had like a smaller spoolie, this would literally be my go-to brow gel forever and ever. Let me compare it to a different spoolie just so you get the full picture. So let's show these over my forehead so you can actually see them. But here we have the AOA Studio spoolie, and then on the other side we have the Kosas. You see how big that is? This thing is gigantic. This thing is the biggest spoolie I've seen for a brow product ever, which is really unfortunate because I love this brow gel. So I've been trying to figure out a way to make it work, but because this is so big, the packaging is huge. So I've literally like gone through all my brow gels and tried to see if any of these fit on this packaging. Nothing does, because this thing is just too big. So I really, really hope they reformulate just the packaging and just make the spoolie smaller, and I will buy a billion of these, and this will be my go-to brow gel because the color, the shade is like perfect. It's exactly what I'm looking for in a brow gel. I just can't get around how messy that spoolie is. All right, next we have a stick foundation. So I went out and I purchased, and by went out, I mean I ordered same-day delivery from Sephora because I don't go out shopping in person anymore. I work from home. I barely leave the house. But I purchased a couple of stick foundations for my work trip. I wanted something that was going to be, you know, hold up well in checked baggage, and I don't like bringing heavy glass bottles, and all my favorite foundations, spoiler alert, are in heavy glass bottles right now. So I wanted something lightweight that I could throw in that wouldn't leak. So I picked up the Hourglass one, and honestly, it's just okay. I end up having to use a lot of this to get like medium coverage. The shade is good, so I don't have to mix it with anything. I just think it's too expensive for how much product I end up going through and applying and applying and applying to get a nice look. So I would not buy this again. Next we have from Tarte. This is the Shape Tape Color Corrector in the shade Peach. I've also been testing with color correctors. Right now, my favorite is the Stila. The Stila one is really nice. And I think I definitely lean more towards liking like cream products for color correctors. This is definitely more of like a liquidy serum-ish kind of consistency. And it doesn't really set. It tends to move when I try to put concealer on top of it. So unless I go in with a really, really thin layer, let it dry completely, and then go on top, then this works okay. But it's not the best. And honestly, like, every day when I'm getting ready for work or if I'm trying to get out the door to go somewhere, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes to like apply my primer and then put this on and then let it fully dry and then go. Like, it's just too much work. It's too much effort for something that's, you know, mid-range at this price point. I should not have to do all that extra work to make it work. So next we have another stick foundation that I purchased for my work trip. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra Ultra HD stick foundation in the shade R230. And the shade, again, this was a good shade match for me. I did like it. The only downside to this is that this is very finicky with primers. So the primer I ended up bringing on my work trip with me ended up breaking down terribly around my mouth. So it reacted terribly to that primer and then to sweat. So this is definitely not a summer foundation for me because I sweat a lot right here and around my mouth. So this broke down really badly with sweat, even if I didn't touch it. Because typically if I sweat through, I guess, TMI if you don't like talking about sweat and makeup. But when I sweat through makeup, if I just leave it alone and kind of let it dry on its own, typically it won't affect the foundation or the concealer, a good foundation or a concealer. And if you guys want, I could do a whole video about that because that's what I look for in like a summer foundation. It has to hold up against sweat like that, and it can't break down the minute I start sweating, even though I don't touch my face, because it'd be a hot mess like this one was. So I was sweating and I didn't touch my mouth or my face, and it broke down, and then I had no foundation on the top of my face, and it looked like I had a reverse mustache on. It was nuts. So I ended up going to the my hotel room and like reapplying and working some other things. It did do me dirty when I was on my work trip. So I think I'm just gonna put this away and wait until it's not hot anymore. So anywhere between September and November here in New Jersey. But overall, I did like the way that this looked like the rest of my face. That doesn't get, basically on the dry parts of my face, this looked really good. So if you have dry skin, I think this will work really well for you. But for me with combo skin, I can't have something that looks great on only like 2/3 of my face. All right, we are now halfway through, sitting at number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 4. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Dark Spots Concealer and Serum. Now this intrigued me because I do have dark bags under my eyes, and I've been getting better with my skincare and my SPF, but nothing really can help the dark spots or the dark circles under my eyes until I found some treatments that specifically work on those. But still, it's under your eyes is a very sensitive area, so if I could have a concealer that looks good like for wearing as makeup throughout the day and then also helps with those dark spots, would be best case scenario, right? That's what I thought. Unfortunately, IT Cosmetics has like a terrible shade range, and I just don't know if I need to go in store and take a look, but like this is supposed to be shade fair neutral, and this looks dark. It's pretty dark. So depending on what foundation I have on, I cannot wear this under my eyes. Now, what I did just pick up, and this is not going to be in today's ranking video, but I'm going to include it in the next ranking video. So I've used the LA Girl Pro foundation in the shade white for years to lighten my foundations and help them match me. But I did not, you know, I knew they had a white concealer, but it never clicked in my brain that I should also get the white concealer to help with dark concealers. So boom, brain blast. I literally got this in the mail today. So I'm going to be testing it out. And the first thing I want to test it out is with this, the It Cosmetics one, just to see if I can get it to like lighten and brighten. And I'm hoping it won't affect like the serum skincare quality of the concealer. So I'm going to test this out and I will let you know. But until then, this stays in the middle of the pack for now because I actually really like the way that this looks as a concealer, especially if I don't set it. You know, except for this brushy thingy, I tried using it. It's terrible. Don't use this. Hello guys, it is Editing Monica here, and I wanted to go ahead and show you guys real quick, between when I filmed this video and now when I'm editing it, I did go to Ulta in store and I swatched the shades of this Bye Bye Dark Spots, and I found a shade that actually works a lot better for me. So the shade I originally picked up was shade 11 Fair Neutral, which is the lightest shade on their website, and that's what I picked up online because I thought it would work best for me. So this is that shade, shade 11. In store, I swatched all of them out, and I found the closest one for me is actually Fair Warm, shade 12, which is the second to lightest shade, but you can see there is a stark difference there in the tone. So yeah, look how light and bright that is. And it's really impossible to tell from the online swatches that this one is this much lighter than shade 11. So for this one in particular, I would say definitely go in store and swatch them, even just on your hand like this. You'll be able to find a shade a lot better. Because this one, I don't actually have to excuse my nails. I'm about to jump in the shower and I've got nail glue all over them. But for these shades, this one actually worked well for me. I don't have to lighten it or anything. It works fine on its own. This one doesn't work great for me. So this one I'm probably going to declutter unless I can get that white foundation or concealer mixer to work for it. But I just really wish I was able to get the shade 12 first because it works better. So not only does It Cosmetics kind of have a shit shade line to begin with, they've gotten better over the years, but still kind of blah. But their numbers don't make any sense. Coming in at number 3, now we have such a great product from AOA Studio. This is their new Pore Filling Primer. To me, this is such a good pore filling primer that reminds me of the Benefit Porefessional, but it's better. Like, it's just a very nice, like, silicone-based pore blurring, pore filling primer that feels nice and soft and silky going on. I'm wearing it today under my makeup, and I've noticed it just looks like I'm made out of porcelain when I use this under foundation. It's just so pretty, and it's only $1. So yeah, I've been on the lookout for like a good like go-to silicone-based primer, and this is it. All right, coming in at a very closely, hotly debated number 2 has been my almost go-to favorite foundation of the last few months, and that's the KVD Good Apple Serum Foundation. And the only reason this is at number 2 and not number 1 is because I don't have my right shade. If I had this in my correct shade, I would wear this until I died. Like, this is such a good foundation. I'm wearing it today, but I did have to mix both these shades together. So I have shade 008 and 018. Yes, so I have 18 and I have 008. So I mix them together and I get this shade. It's not 100% perfect sometimes because it's, you know, trial and error. Every day is different. But it looks like so flawless and it wears so nicely. And I did not set this with powder. This is still nice and tacky. But it's so just lifelike and pretty and full coverage. It's, I love this so much. I love the packaging. I love how pretty this looks. I like how hefty the packaging feels. It feels like a luxurious product that I'm using. I need to get my shade. So I'm going shopping tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to go to a Sephora, but I kind of want to get shade match. I don't know if I can get shade match because I'm going to do an all-day wear test tomorrow. So I am going to be wearing makeup. So scratch that. The next time I am out, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get shade match, but I need to go see these in store and swatch them and just find a better shade match because I love this so much. I'm going to use both of these together until they run out, but I need to find a good shade match because this will be my new go-to foundation. And taking in the number 1 spot, a foundation I didn't even know existed until a few weeks ago. So I was watching an Amanda Z declutter video and she mentioned this foundation in her declutter and I was like, oh my God, I need to get my hands on that. Sold out everywhere. So I went on the Sephora wait list and I finally got the email, and I've had this for a few weeks now that it's back in stock, and I was able to snatch it up. And wow, where's this foundation been? This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. This just completely blew me out of the water. But I also have not really tried a whole lot of like Japanese and Korean brands before. Shiseido I know is a Japanese brand, which I need to try out more, especially, you know, considering the fact that I took Japanese for 7 years. I'm shocked that I haven't really gotten more into Japanese beauty products. But this just blew me out of the water. It's a great shade match for me. Shade 110 Alabaster is my closest shade match. It works really, really well. I don't set this with powder, though when I do, sometimes it still looks really pretty. But to me, the magic in this is that I can apply it all over and not set it, and it does dry down, and it looks like skin. It looks like skin and looks amazing throughout a full day. So actually tomorrow I'm testing a primer for a full day wear test. This is the foundation I'm going to wear it with because this, I know the way that this wears and it's just so, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like skin. It's also not heavy at all. So like this foundation, I love the KVD Good Apple, but I feel like I'm wearing it, right? This, I don't feel it. So wow, I definitely need to try more from Shiseido. I need to expand my, foundations into like just more options because this blew my mind and it's gotten me to really like a foundation and makeup technique that I did not like before, and that's like not setting with powder. Because if you know me, you know my channel, I always set everything with powder. Lately, I've been not setting with powder, and it's mainly been because of this foundation and the KVD Good Apple. So who knows? Am I turning over a new leaf? Am I actually keeping up with some trends? Maybe. But this is such a good foundation. So there we have it. Those are the last 10 makeup products that I bought, ranked from my least favorite all the way up to my favorite. Let me know down below what's the last product that you purchased. And if you want to see any more videos like this, because I like them. It keeps me like up to date. It keeps me, you know, keeping track of what I buy and keeping reviews in check. So I like doing them. Let me know if you like them too. Thanks for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.